Professor Gary Marsden. I'm in the computer science department, but I direct the ICT4D Centre. ICT4D stands for Information and Communication Technology for Development. So the application of computer technology, digital technology to development problems, social development. A lot of our work is based on mobile technologies simply because they're so prevalent in developing countries. There are 6 billion cell phones in the world and about 1 billion PCs. Most technology that gets built is done by people who are excited about the technology. They can make phones smaller, have bigger screens, faster processors. But the question we ask in our lab is, well, is that really important? Do you really need that? So I try and teach the students human-computer interaction, HCI, where you start with people first and understand people's needs. Rather than get excited about technology and see if people will buy it, we go and work with humans and understand real needs in the world and try and develop technology to meet those needs. As a supervisor, my job really is first of all to find out what these guys are passionate about. There's no point in forcing someone to do a degree for 2 or 3 years if they're not into it. Mo is a fantastic musician. Sarah is passionate about economic empowerment. Thomas is really keen on education and giving people a voice. And then basically I try and get out of the way. And I keep nudging them to make sure it's going to get them an academic outcome, but it also allows them to fulfill something they're personally passionate about.
So the whole idea behind our mobile digital storytelling application is that we actually didn't want to tell people how to tell their stories. Combining photos with audio, we wanted them to tell their own stories. We thought there was some need to sort of reinterpret what digital storytelling would mean for a community. And when we tested the prototype in a village in Kenya, we found that, yeah, people really need this and do, in fact, record stories in very different ways. And there's a need to flexibly accommodate different storytelling styles. For example, this is how I might tell a story. So I have in front of me all the photos that I took, and then I could start by recording. This is where I park my car. This is where I walk up the steps every morning. This is where I get my coffee. This is where I do my research. And this is where I come to be inspired.
I worked in partnership with an NGO in Ict called Learn to Earn, and what they do is they train up entrepreneurs, particularly people who don't have a lot of education, and they give them a skill and then they give them the skills to be able to start their own business with that skill. But one thing that the NGO found was that a lot of the time the students that were leaving them didn't have enough business understanding to be able to keep good records of their business, and this would then lead them banks to not being willing to lend them money because they didn't have a good credit history. So what my app attempts to do is to allow them to capture the day-to-day runnings of their business on their phone, so different incomes, expenses, different credits that they might give or receive, and capture that in a way that they'll then be able to do pretty much all of their business bookkeeping on their phone. It then also automatically generates financial reports and allows them to submit that in a PDF form to a bank. It wasn't just an academic project which had no real-life application, but it was something that was really useful in the real world.
How I got to my research project is a bit of an interesting story. Some people from Nokia were around, and one of them mentioned that they had a music project that they were running at Nokia, and then it got me thinking, gee, that sounds really great. My supervisor Gary was quite encouraging, and then I looked into it and found that this was something that I could do. So the way my application works is that it allows people to specify drum loops by drawing patterns on a screen. So essentially you put down instruments anywhere on the screen and then you draw through them. And when you draw through them, it creates a path on which a metronome passes. And when the metronome interacts with any instrument you've placed down, it plays it. So what I'm hoping is that people will be able to just get really creative and put things in any order. So you could technically make anything you wanted. Within the design process, I've been designing with people in mind. So I'm going out to groups of musicians and having them interact with it and having them use it and see whether or not my system allows them to extract their creativity. That's what I'm hoping for, man. I'm trying to, people who'd never thought they could make music, I want to put something in their hands that allows them to do it quickly and easily.
coming here gives you an opportunity to meet with people from all around Africa and all around the world.
Being in Cape Town exposes you to so many of these new ideas and new ways of thinking, new cultures.
We inspire each other, challenge each other's opinions.
As well as having great role models and mentors.
All within, epic landscape.
I've traveled all over the world, and I definitely think that Cape Town is the most beautiful city in the world.
There's just so much to do. Downtown Cape Town is just a short bus ride away. There are mountains, there are beaches. You can hike up literally from UCT to the top of Devil's Peak and Table Mountain.
I really enjoy studying here. I actually I love what I'm doing. I love coming in. I love being around people who are enjoying what they're doing because their passion is contagious. And when you have this many passionate people, you can't help but to succeed. You can't help but to do well and have a good time doing well.
The key thing for success within the research group is to be passionate about what you're doing and passionate to see change in the world. You've got to want to change the world.